Okay, here we go. We're live again. Or maybe for the first time. Yeah, looks like it's working. Okay, cool. I'm gonna get some work done on Minecraft scripts. Let's review what we did last time. So, Minecraft. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I was pretty busy this weekend, that's why I wasn't streaming. But, back at it today. We're doing a bunch of yard work, trimming actual life trees instead of the Minecraft ones. Test B, I think, is the one I was working in. So, while you guys were gone, I went and did some experiments. Alright, I guess you weren't gone. I was gone. I wasn't streaming when I was doing these experiments. I'm doing some experiments with... it's the same base code as this Wizard Mountain stuff. So this is like Wizard Mountain-y kind of thing. And grabs an area and lifts it up in the sky. And as you can see, that all works. Still, I converted over to use slightly different code base. But I also made this thing, which takes the area, flattens it out, kind of. It doesn't perfectly flatten it. It just like flattens it somewhat. And then adds walls around it. And that's kind of in anticipation of doing a castle kind of script. So here's the best one, I think, because it looks really nice. But it's over on this hillside, and you've got these trees, and it's got a wall around it, and the wall's on the edge of the mountain, and the wall goes all the way up and all the way down, and it works. Seems to work all right. So I got a question from somebody if I could make some super huge caves. And I was thinking, well, I might have to redo everything that I'm doing, but then I thought maybe I could just reuse the Wizard Mountain stuff to grab a bunch of... See, this is all like super dark down here. The lighting, the relighting isn't working currently. I'm not sure what you have to do to... do something. Yeah. Trying to... I don't know how to re-trigger the lighting calculation. But this should all be kind of lit up. Seems like. I guess that's fair. It is underground, after all. Let's go to all chat. No one said anything yet, but that's okay. You guys can hear me, right? Let me just check my audio levels. Yeah, it looks like the audio levels are fine. No one said anything. Yeah, I can hear myself. That's all working. Okay. So, might take a distractable dad break from converting stuff and do a giant cave thing. So let's just go over here and see if we can make a big old cavern. So the first thing I would do... What's the first thing I would do? What's the first thing? Maybe don't do anything here, but then do stuff around the edges. What happens when we use Wizard Mountain over the water? Let's just find out about that. What happens here? What happens here? Pie charm. Get this. That saves. Oop. Pie charm, I don't like it how you grab focus. Just be. Wizard Mountain. And we'll make it a little bit larger. Like 28. Just see what happens here. Depth scale 1. Run it. Boom. All right. What happens when you do it over water? Well, lifts the water up. That's good. Doesn't look like it's... It's a square now. It's not a circle at all. So that's a little disappointing. But it does, you know... Oh, here we go. We got an update. Oh, it's updating now. Oh, no. Oh, is it the... Oh, I see. It's the seaweed that's breaking. That's kind of cool. All right. That's nice. That's kind of nice. It's not updating over here. It's just a square, though. It's a little disappointing. I mean, it's working as far as like being thicker in the middle and narrower on the edges. But it's not working as far as like it should be more round. It shouldn't be square like this. Seems like. I wish it was more round, but it's not. Just like... There we go. Get it to update all this. Alright, interesting. So, we could do something like that, where we make a cave generator, and it just takes stuff and pulls it up in the air, but the distance it pulls it up is varied by the distance from the center, so that you get a thing around the edge, and then it gets smaller as it goes. Let's do an open top one. Let's do an open top one right around this little grass square here. Okay, so we're gonna use castle wall. We want to make a new one that just imports Wizard Mountain and then runs Wizard Mountain on some stuff. I really should export. I should export all this stuff, because add adjacent is always the same. Hey, Murtimer, how's it going? What are we doing today? We are trying to make a big cave. That's the idea at this point. I might just copy this whole thing and then clobber the stuff that I want to change, and then let's do that. Alright, so we're going to copy this over to here. we're gonna take Wizard Mountain. I'm just gonna make a copy of it. We're gonna call this Cave Diver. With just a command? Yeah, so I've got these scripts. I'll show you around. I've got some scripts. I'm not modding Minecraft. I'm doing level editing. So you can see how like all this stuff is all jumbledy bumbled. It's all crazy rock stuff strewn everywhere, and how there's this really super huge gargantuan hole. And let me change the render distance here. All right. Brrr, there we go. Now we can almost see the whole thing. Yeah, you can see across the whole thing. So that's a railway I made. I generated. So this is all with level editing scripts. I got parented here and my internet got cut. Oh no! Sorry, Mert. So this is a humongous crater that I generated using a script. It took like an hour and 20 minutes. I couldn't see it the first time you did it here. Okay, yeah, this is it. This is the giant crater. It's super huge. I honestly think the smaller craters look better, because when it gets this big, it's just like so super massive that, like, what is it? It's just, you know, it converts the whole thing into a wasteland. Like, there's not even anything interesting left. It's just like wasteland as far as the eye can see. But anyway, this is a railway generator. Oh, thanks, Bert. Butug. Perfect for making a base. Yeah, you could. You could excavate an area with a crater and then build a base over it. I'd love to make like a moon base kind of thing with like a glass dome over a crater. That would be sweet. So many things would be fun to do. So anyway, this is a railway generator that I made, and it, you know, generates a railway and cuts through the hills when it needs to, and builds little pylons when it needs to. Here are some tree generators I made. So this is like, it's not world edit, although you could use world edit if you wanted to. Here's some giant trees. This is also done using a Python script. So this is all level editing, save file editing stuff. You can make domes with it. Yeah, you could. Yeah, I'd like to make it just like, you know, push a button and it edits the map for you, so you don't have to use any other tools. It's just like the scripts, Python scripts. But anyway, these are some super huge trees that I made using scripts, and they're sitting on floating islands, which I made using scripts. I wonder if that super huge tree is still around. I've kind of lost where that is. Let's see. There's the wasteland from the giant crater. It comes all the way out to like here. All this stuff has just been completely pulverized. Ooh, those are some cool mountains. And some cool caves. Look at this. This is sick. We should convert this to a cave thing. Let's look at this. Neat. How many things are you going to do in total? Well, I do have a list of stuff that I'd like to work on. So this is all, you can get all of this on my GitHub. You go to mc.triapp.com for Minecraft.triapp.com, and it forwards you to this page, and then you go over to the GitHub link, and it takes you to my GitHub, and all this stuff is in the GitHub, so you can download any of this and run it. There's some instructions on how to run it down here in the GitHub, and yeah. But I have a list of things that I like to do in here. It's an issue. I've made an issue, and 27 out of 88 right now. The main thing was updating MC interface to work with the 1.8 and forward Minecraft map files. But that's done. It's actually working now, and so I'm just kind of making progress on stuff. I haven't really finished any of these, but the next thing would be ore reduce. Although I might get distracted here for like giant cave stuff. Did I add a cave thing to this list? Gardens, castles, groundwork, Wizard Mountain. Cavern mode. There we go. Progressively larger, height, scale near the center, spikes, etc. So that's what I'm going to do with Cave Diver. So let's see if we can get that to do something. Cave Diver. Okay. Takes a Minecraft level and makes a big old cave around the player. Okay. Load name, radius, height. This is the center height for the cave. Um, 29's not really high enough. Let's do with like 59. And then the radius is gonna be radius. I don't think we're gonna do all the fancy finding stuff. It's just gonna like grab blocks out in a radius. You have good to-do list. It's organized well. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, it helps to keep track of what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. How large maximum do you want the cave to be? 20 block diameter cave. Alright, so we're going to set this to 59 as well. It might be a little big, but that's okay. How thick do you want the mountain? So this is... how thick do you want the top of the cave? I think we want this to be like 2 is the default. 1 is... pretty thin cave. Murderer's stealing the code as much as he can. Good job, Mert. Yeah, and you can always, if you've got suggestions for what to change about this, you can always make a, you go over to, well, I can't do it because I own the repo, but actually maybe I can. You can make a fork. You could fork this. Can't fork because you own this. You're not a member. Okay. But you could fork this. So you click fork, you fork it, you make whatever changes you want, and then you go over and there'll be a little thing saying merge this back, or do a pull request into Minecraft scripts, and then it'll show up here and I can review your code and integrate it. So yeah, if you want to contribute code, that would be the way to do it. Get player stack self. Let's see. So depth scale was 2 is the default. Let's see. Make a, let's see, pretty thin cave. 2 is the default. All right, that's fine. Max vertical gap. We're going to take this away because we don't care about that. We just want it to do the thing. What's the thickness offset? Depth offset? No, we don't want that either. Do you want a bunch of info? No. Yeah, we might want that at some point, but... Murderer doesn't know how to code, and he doesn't want to know how to code. I'm going to go get the satellite mission done in Astroneer. Alright, enjoy. Enjoy, Mert. Okay, I'll just prattle on. Let's see, radius. Do we still have a radius? Yeah, we've got a radius. We've got a height. Depth scale. Do we have a depth scale? We've got a radius, a height, and a depth scale. Depth offset is not going to be used. We got map top, map bottom, location to coordinates, coordinates location, got squares. So for this stuff, I feel like this is all outmoded. Because for this, we don't really care what the surface looks like so much. Grow, new weight, add adjacent. This is where this all happens. So for location, we're going to add it, square adjacent. We're just going to set the square growth. We're not going to worry about any of this. Height difference. Uh-oh, my baby's here. She's here to mess everything up. Hey, Abby! Height difference equals absolute y, current y equals square dot y. So we got to make sure to turn that off. Add growth. Or actually, we might need that. I think we can just take all this away. Add square adjacent. And square dot growth plus equals 1. .1. I think that'll just make it grow. Grow square, the square radius. So the radius, grow all. Squares, origin square, location string, square string, location coordinates, square weight. Square growth, initialize it, grow all the squares. This depth, okay, make appropriate depth. Depth scale times the local depth scale, square dot weight, radius, this radius in random. That should all still work. Plus equals 2. Map bottom, set to map bottom, set the world surface, height set equals false, get the air block data, correct the height maps. Now, there's a bit of code in, is it in Starstone? That linearizes the density based on let's see, let's create set height y top equals y, find boulders, get solid surface, location, lock in locations, select locations. Player position. All right, so this is what we want to copy here. We're gonna get locations, feature locations, random fraction, random angle. No, it doesn't look like this is working. All right, so we gotta pull up tree thing. Forester. Come help us, Forrester. I know I've got a linearizing position thing, because what happens is if you just use the angle and the radius, then the density is going to be higher at the middle and sparser at the edges. Although actually maybe that is what we want. I don't know. Let's see. Forest, light tree, density foliage, roots hanging, hollow trunk height, trunk thickness, shape round. Where's our distribution linearizer? Interpolation. There it is. Linear, even. If interpolation is even, then random fraction equals 1 minus random fraction. Square it, and then it equals 1 minus random fraction again. Otherwise, it's just... Oh, because the area is equal to the square of the distance. Yeah, so that's fine. So we could copy, select locations. Okay, cave diver. Select locations, MC map. Insert as instance, MC save file. Okay, player position equals int I for I in player position. X is position 0, Z is position 2. Feature locations, if verbose, print locations. Well, length equals less than the feature num. Okay, so we want to do like number of... Hey, Jonas! Look at the Discord? Am I supposed to look at the Discord, or you want to look at the Discord? It's a happy birthday! How are the Karsker? It's a happy birthday. Happy birthday, man. Howil? Howil? Do they have the happy birthday song in Turkey? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Howell. Happy birthday to you. There we go. Let's see. Well, verbose length, feature num, random fraction. Okay. Then we want to square this. Random equals random fraction times radius. Angle equals random pi. Oh, we want the clear center distance. We want to add a clear center. Split right. Put this over here. Cave diver. Test B radius. Center section. If so, set this to more than 1. This will also add to the ultimate radius. And then we're going to set the height. Radius, clear center. Discord visuals. Oh, okay, you got an update on your playthrough. It's I don't know what this is. This looks like Astroneer. And then this is Infinifactory? I think it's Infinifactory. You're hogging out stuff. Hogging stuff out of a thing to make a thing with. Fun. Not that. That's the Infinifactory thing, right? Or something else. Oh, okay. There's more. There's more. Sunroom. And you got some stuff floating in space. Oh no. It's bugged. The rail line is the core of Silva. Uh-oh. Game is all bugged. Oh, there's a bunch of updates. Astronium miner, nice. Resin pound. Resin pound. Oh no. Wait, what is that? Some sort of crazy astronium snowman? What's going on there? I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on with that. Crazy. Okay. Let's see. Center. Offset equals 13, 12. And then the feature size. Feature size for stalactite and stalagmite feature dimensions. Hey, cat! Feature size equals maybe like 7, 3, 4, about 4. Okay. Feature number. Okay, so we're gonna have to calculate a feature number, or we'll just set a feature number. Feature num. How many features do you want? Question mark. If you want to make it a cave that's got like stalactites and stalagmites, then really you want the features to be symmetrical. So you want to take the stuff, move it up, and then add it from the bottom. Well, we'll get this working. We'll get one thing working at a time. Equals 7. Or maybe 13. Alright. So we got lending feature locations, random fraction is random, radius, random pi times 2. Is this defined somewhere? I feel like I need to. Like, where's pi defined? Yeah. Gotta copy these over. Import needed was MC interface. Didn't need any of this stuff. Alright. Good. Get a bunch of math. Okay. Wait. This isn't Wizard Mountain. We're not modifying Wizard Mountain. We're modifying Cave Diver. Cave Diver. Cave Diver. There we go. Random choice, square root, sine, cosine. Okay, good. Okay, good. Create. Select locations. All right, here we go. So now we've got pi. That's good. X is x plus int. Radius times sine of angle. Rad fraction times radius plus center offset. Height, feature size, feature num. We've got that. And top. Get solid surface. Type is none. It's off the map. Go somewhere else. Okay. Feature locks. X, Z, Y top. Return feature locks. Cat's back! Welcome back, Cat. The cat came back. Now, do we want the center height to be based on the terrain height? Because right now it's based on the terrain height. We could make it based on the player location. That's okay. Select locations. All right. So this should be we don't need the player position anymore. We don't need to update the player position because we don't want to change that. Finding the cave. Okay. For lock in. Let's see. Locations equals select locations of the map for location in locations. Mont equals flying mountain. Mont.origin square is location of X and location 2 and location of Z. Make this an actual function. There. For I in range radius, not in range radius, in range feature size. This is really unnecessarily complex for this thing. There's no reason to go through this whole growing step thing, but I don't know. I don't know about all this. Gotta make sure that our square position at adjacent, grow, adjacent squares, radius, this radius is the delta. Okay, that works. Hey Nerdplex, how's it going? Add adjacent. Upgrade to interior. Return none. Okay, here we go. If this square, this radius is greater than feature size, then return none. Okay. So that should do something. This should do something. Let's see what it does. Run it. Get solid surface. Y top equals. Forget it then. You don't care about it. Let's see. Wizard Mountain should be checking all this anyway. Height map. Motion blocking no leaves. That's an init in square, so. And also in create in the Wizard Mountain. Set height map. Offset all height maps. Yeah. So we shouldn't need this. We could do MC map dot get height map X Z and sure. Motion blocking no leaves. Sure. Control F5. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nice. Okay. It looks like it worked. Looks like it did what we expected. Let's see what it is that it did. Oh. Save, quit the title. Delete. Paste. Back into Minecraft. Oh. Okay. Yeah, interesting. That's kind of cute. Still making squares, which I'm not thrilled about. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, cave diver. Why is it making squares? Feature size 4, so it's just growing 4. It's not checking the distance. It's not checking the distance from the center. It's not clamping on. It's not clamping on distance from the center. Should be. Grow square. Add adjacent. Compute adjacent. Select locations. Here, grow square. If square dot this radius greater than feature size. Let's debug it. Okay. Square dot, this radius is 0 because the x and z negative 966 and negative 55 is equal to the origin 966 negative 55. This radius equals 0. Zoom, 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 zoom. I'm going to do this 12 times. This radius keeps getting set to 0. That's not correct. Delta x delta y, self dot origin, x self dot origin z. Self dot origin not getting set. We're setting it in Castle Wall, but we're probably not setting it in Square. Probably not setting it in Wizard Mountain either. That's probably why it's not working in init. This is the Square init. No, it has attribute origin. Delta x, delta z. Else, I wonder if this has attribute self origin. Square initialization is not happening. It doesn't have origin because the origin exists in the flying mountain object, not in the square origin square. Self.origin equals square. Origin square. This needs to know what palette. This needs to know what palette it is. Origin of, unless if we make it, let's see, square growth, castle wall. Yeah, this shows up 16 times. Origin square, create. We want to do it before we create it. Plot that origin square. Can't have attribute origin because it just was created. It's not self origin, it's something else. We're going to pass in the palette that we're using to create it, init the square. So it's not working in Castle Wall either. Origin. Create. Self.origin equals square. Origin square. Or a square. Add adjacent. Okay, we got to take this out. We want to know. We want to know the origin. When we init the square, we want to know the origin. If origin is none, else all that stuff. Okay, origin. Origin. Now we got to pass in the origin every time we call square. 108 times. Can we search there? Square. Squares grow. Square. Square dot square. Origin square. We can have more than one origin square. That's interesting. That is interesting. I really should get the locations all sorted out and like split all this out into a separate function. But it's good that we're fixing these problems. I should probably fix this also in, because right now I'm doing it in castle wall. We're going to do it in castle wall. We'll get castle wall working, and then once that works, put in cave diver. Is it init for square? Init for square. And then origin. Was none. Okay, that's Wizard Mountain. It's Castle Wall. Cave Diver. Nope. There. And then there. Okay. Now we gotta fix that. Cave diver square. Okay, so square object square, new square. I'm going to make a new square, walled area, add adjacent, never gets called until we grow square, and grow square doesn't get called until we call origin square, and origin square self.origin. Okay, so that's all fine. So we should be able to just call self.origin here, and that should work. And add adjacent. That's castle wall. It's cave diver. We should really test this before we change all our code everywhere. But square, check for capitalization. Self.origin. Run it. Square is no object origin. Square object has no object origin. Square object has no attribute origin. Yeah. Because it shouldn't be self.origin, it should just be origin. There we go. Okay. Let's be... Now they should be roughly circular. So we've got some that are square, and yep, and some that are circular. There we go. Now it's working. Now it's working. Great. Okay. Now we just need a whole bunch more. Or maybe make them a little bit bigger. What's this? Oh, this is one that was generated adjacent to one that was already generated? Not sure what's going on here. It's kind of weird. That's kind of a weird thing. We could probably also set our render settings down again. Make the game run a little smoother. Alright. Oh, because it's pulling chunks out of existing chunks. Okay. Alright. So that's working, kind of. Now we've got to fix this. We've got to fix castle wall. So that this isn't self.origin, it's just origin. And this is self.origin. Okay, so that works. And then Wizard Mountain, same thing. Delete those and grab this and find square equals square there. Okay, that should now be working better. And we'll update Cave Diver, and then we'll get all this to work on the other stuff. For instance, this radius should now be working properly. Oh, and we shouldn't need as thick height offset either, because now our radius is contributing to our depth scale squared out this radius. Yeah, see? Squared out this radius. Radius minus squared out this radius. This depth scale. Yeah, so instead of being 9, this should be 6, I think is the original value. Wizard Mountain. I was wondering why it wasn't getting the radius added in. It's because the radiuses were all 0. I didn't think to check it. Depth scale. There we go. 6. Castle wall. Depth scale. Yeah, it was 6. We don't even use depth scale in castle wall. Alright, well, so that's fine. Cave diver. Alright. All right, good. So now in create, we want another depth value, xz, this depth, and then height set. Not height set equals true. New height. Why would we wide range and why start? Why would we only do this once? Why wouldn't we just do it initially? New y. This y plus height. Okay. This y plus height. This needs to be recalculated. We need this radius. Absolute radius or something. Absolute radius equals, now we've got our set radius. Like this. Delta x is absolute x. Create self. Are we just gonna get the y? No, we should do this. All right, so x, z, and then absolute radius equals square root of x squared plus z squared. And this origin.x and origin.z are going to be our cave diver, our player position, select locations. Get player square, cave diver. Should be get player square. Get player block. Get player block. And then we don't need to, it's just going to give us, yeah. It's just going to give us back ints, so then we don't need to do this. And then we're also going to do the same thing inside the create function. We're just going to call this every time we make an island thing because we're lazy. Origin x, origin z, and then this is origin x, and this is origin z. Now we should have an absolute radius, and so the new y equals this y plus height divided by radius. Because we've got an absolute, we've got a big radius here. depth scale radius. Okay. Plus height times absolute radius divided by radius plus center offset. So the height is going to be this fraction out. Yeah. And then that should be an int. Okay, and then let's make our feature size a bit bigger and the feature number a bit bigger. And let her rip and see what happens. Position's not defined. Player position. Player position. And then we're gonna do the same thing up here in create because we're using player position here. Okay. Run it. MC map is not defined. MC map is not defined because this is depth self.save file. .get player block. Now run it. What you doing? I am trying to make an artificial cave based on like taking the surface and like pulling sections up out of the surface. We'll see how well it works. We'll see how well it works right now in Minecraft. This is a Minecraft save file editing tool. And oh, okay. All right. It's doing something. It doesn't seem to be. It's mostly over there. I don't know. And the height is. Oh, the height is inversely proportional to the distance instead of being directly proportional. So it's backward. But it's it's going higher over here. That's good. I feel like as our feature size gets bigger, the depth should also be getting bigger. It doesn't seem to be working very well. It's also not enough to be contiguous. I mean, these are enough to be contiguous here. Let's go over somewhere else. Get some more debug. We can't do debug over here because there's a giant crater here. Let's go over here. We'll try maybe around here. And then I think we just need more features. Although when they overlap, they're gonna. Let's see. What are they going to do when they overlap? The Y value is cached, but the top value is not cached. I feel like it's gonna cause problems. But let's find out. Because I think they're going to overlap and like double offset stuff, but Maybe not. I feel like I've got to overlap and double offset, but okay. New y. This y plus height times 1 minus all this stuff. Add another one. Let's invert it. Run it. I feel like these should be a little bit more offset too, but it's all right. We'll get there eventually. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's going up and it's getting smaller toward the edges. Cool. And we are getting some double overlap that's crunching some stuff, so that should be fixed. Although not as much as I kind of had anticipated. So I think what I want to do is use the height offset, because that seems to be working all right. It's like it's a linear, it's kind of a cone. It's this cone shaped thing. I think I want the, well, I should probably make the height maybe about half of what it is right now, just so we don't end up with a gargantuan hole. And then what? Something. And then something. That's just a setting value, though. That doesn't really change the code. Height. Yeah, maybe like 33. And depth scale 2.6 maybe. And then anything that's not, see, we want to just join all these square in self-dot interior values. We just want to join all these into one big one. And then we want to get all the squares that we didn't select for features. We want to raise them up. And just set some thickness value. This depth plus 0.1 plus random times 3. Plus equals 2. Because we want to cover the whole thing out to the radius. We don't want to end up with stuff that isn't populated. Well, let's just see how this does. No, we want to combine all this into one thing. main. Okay. Locations. Mod.create. All right. So then we're gonna do this whole thing. We're gonna grow it a bunch of times. Then we want to like add them all together, so that the square depth values get added together. Square X, Y, Z. The Y gets set on motion blocking no leaves. We only want to do each square once. We don't want to do these multiple times. We should use the Starstone code for the large area. Because this works pretty well. Cave diver. Let's see. Square and self.interior values. Master canvas. All right, the master canvas equals new flying mountain. Then we're going to have a stalactite thing. Feature size. Stalactite grow all. Number of squares equals len. Stalactite interior. Include block columns. Okay, then we want to. This should be master canvas dot create. We're only going to do it once. So then for locations, we want to, let's see, master canvas dot add squares master canvas dot add. Yeah. Stalactite. Okay, so we're going to grow the stalactite. Then we're going to add the stalactite to the master canvas. Then we're going to run create on the master canvas, so that way each square should only get added once. Now we just have to write some add code. So this is going to be a flying mountain object. Class flying mountain object. Add adjacent. Def add self and other mountain other object other canvas and this is a flying mountain object. So for square, I should do it over here so that I can keep my place there. And adjacent. Grow all. For location chords, location to chords in self dot interior. If lock in self dot interior, the lock is not in self dot interior, and this should not be self dot interior. This should be other canvas dot interior. So if we don't have that location in self dot interior, well, if it is an interior, then we want to add the values. So this square equals self dot interior of lock and other square equals other canvas dot interior of lock, and then we want to put all the values, add all the values together. Location to chords. We don't need to change the X or Z location because that shouldn't change. We shouldn't have to change the Y location because that shouldn't change. We want to add the weight and add the growth. Square dot weight plus equals other square dot weight. Same thing with growth. Adjacent should be something. We should recalculate adjacent at some point, but we're not going to mess with it because I don't think we use it. Self.alog, we shouldn't have to change that because that should already be set. What else? this radius. This radius. This square dot this radius equals, we want to use the minimum value of this radius. The square of this radius and the square dot this radius. Let's see. Get height map, adjacent squares, block type, string, growth, adjacent. That should do it. So if it's in this canvas, if it's in self-interior, then add it together. Else, if it's not in interior, then we want to check to see if it's in border, outside, LF, lock, in, self dot, outside. Then if it's in outside, then we want to remove it from outside and add it to inside. So self.interior. Interior. How do we add it to interior? Should have an add to interior function. Upgrade to interior. Grow square. Location string. Self.interior, update, delete, outside. Oh, well, that's pretty straightforward. And then add adjacent. Maybe that'll just work. Self.interior.update, lock string, this square. Shouldn't have to do this every time. There we go. Other square equals square, this square, wait, other square, this other square, this square, growth. Add it together. If it's an outside, self.interior.update, lock string, this is just lock. And other square, this square. Del self outside. Self dot add adjacent, this square. Okay, so if it's already in the interior, then we add the values together. If it's in the outside, then we add it to the inside. And if it's not even in the inside yet, if it's not in here at all, then we're just gonna add it to the interior. Update this square. All right, so then do something similar for lock in other canvas dot outside. If it's in interior, so if it's on the outside in the other canvas and it's already in the interior, then continue. If the location is in the outside already, then also continue because we don't want to change anything. Or do we want to like add the growth? I think we want to add the growth rates and the weight. Square. This radius. This might not matter at all, but I'm going to do it because I'm going to probably end up using this other places. This square equals self dot interior. Now we have to do this here. Can't do it other places. This square. Now, this square is other square. Square equals other canvas. Oh boy. There's a lot of places where this can go wrong. This square, update, delete, self outside. Self interior dot update this square. Now this square is also the other canvas dot interior location. Then, if location other canvas outside, we should just do it this way. Other square. If location is itself interior, the square, other square, blah, blah, blah. Then we don't have to do this again because this is just going to be other square, add adjacent other square. And then otherwise update other square. Okay, much better. Now, if location is the canvas outside, then other square is going to be canvas dot outside other canvas dot outside, other square equals other canvas dot outside, other canvas, other square equals other canvas dot interior. Okay, good. If the location is in interior, then just don't do anything else. If location is in self dot outside, then we want this square to be self dot outside location, this square, other square dot weight, other square dot growth, this square radius, min, other square, this square. Okay, so we're using all the same nomenclature. That's great. Else, we're just going to update the outside with this other square. Okay, I think that's going to work. Go through the thing, add all the squares in, and then we're done. Add. So now, let's call this something else, like add all squares. And then this down here in create. No, down here. Main. Add all squares, stalactite. Okay, now, well, we should test this. We should just test this to make sure this works. So, where are we at? Saves. Put this over here. We've changed a bunch of stuff. Yeah, the flying mountain's not defined. Fine. Flying mountain object has no attribute origin. Self.origin. We're adding adjacent. Add adjacent. It's an Arabic guy sending Japanese hiragana. Yeah, looks like hiragana. Okay, grow. Oh, add all squares. Here we go. We don't want to add adjacent. We're not going to do that. Because this thing doesn't have an origin. Oh, has no attribute origin. Create origin weight equals self.origin.weight. Origin square. Origin weight. Origin weight. Right, because we're scaling this based on the weight of the origin so that the height all gets set properly. You know, let's just set this to like 9 times feature size. There. So we got to finding it. There we go. Okay, it did a thing. Not sure what it did, but it did something. Let's find out. Let's find out together what we did. What has it done? All right, well, it's certainly raised stuff up, and not by as much, so that's great. It looks like we don't have the crazy wonkiness of the, yeah, that's all good. It seems like that's working. Yeah, it looks like it's all working incredibly enough. It doesn't have the crazy overlap going on. We're not doing anything twice. So I guess this is just functional. This is very functional. It's a little unsettling to be right on the edge of this crater. It's like gargantuan. I love YouTube is putting chess-related stuff on my homepage because I liked one chess short. Yeah, well, if you don't give it much to work with, it's gonna try real hard to get whatever it is that you gave it to, you know, to fit the algorithm. But yeah, good luck with that, man. All right, let's try here. So that seems to be working, even though it's a bit hacky. I'm gonna have to like rework all this stuff because this is very unfortunately convoluted. Now we want to add square, add adjacent, grow square, grow all, origin square. I think this is where we get our starstone. We grab our starstone code here. And we're going to add a bunch of squares. Standalone. Master canvas. Dot create. Master canvas. Dot more squares. Right. Create. Def. Oh. Okay. More squares. Self. Da da da. Okay. 4 is the offset in range. And radius plus 1. Square z distance equals z offset squared. Square distance 2d. Square distance radius squared. So we got to get the radius squared in here somewhere. Sure. Player position, get player block. Self.save file. Hey Gen Gamers, welcome back. Check the chat. Okay, I'm checking it. Be distractable. I would try and someone asked me in Discord to make a cave generator. I wasn't planning on making one, but somebody asked me to, so here we go. Making a cave generator thing. You want me to put my glasses on? Is that distractable? Does that increase my distractibility? There. Get a little bit dusty. There we go. I look more like I More like my my little icon anyway. Okay. If the radius is... Can you go Minecraft so minecarts go faster? I cannot. I cannot change the source code of Minecraft. I don't have access to it. I never had. Never had access to that. Let's see. Player position, player block, origin. X equals player position 0, or Z. Radius squared equals radius. So this is going to be, let's see, cave diver. Origin. Player block. Radius plus center offset. Squared. Range int. Let's see, radius. Actually, we should just do it this way. Radius equals radius plus center offset. Now all this radius stuff works. Radius squared. Okay, z offset range. The x offset range. Square distance 2D is greater than radius squared. Then continue. Square root distance equals square root radius squared minus square root 2D. Y start, Y end. I don't think we need any of this. Solid, else height map start, update height maps. Don't need any of this. X equals lock X plus X offset. Is this used anywhere else? It is not. So we can do this. Origin X, origin Z. X, Z equals origin X, origin Z, origin X. Okay, and then for each one of these things, yeah. If square root distance, we don't want to continue, we want to break. Because the x offset is just going to keep getting bigger till we get too big. We break out of the x loop, we increment to a new z. I think we want to break. Break here too. What's going on here? Oh, I see. Let's see, continue there. We're going to break in Starstone as well. Break out of that loop. We should test that. We should test that. Let's test that. Test B, feature lane 1, radius 2, boulders, boulder size, not 36, maybe 6. Crater depth is not 800, it's not even 80, maybe like 30. Run it. Excavating. Displacing. It's still big. I'm playing PC Building Simulator 2. Oh, fun! I thought about getting that game. I built a lot of my own PCs, and I was kind of curious, like, what would it be like to play a simulator where you build PCs? Like, compare real life to the simulation. Nerplex says he can code to make Minecrafts go faster, but not in vanilla. You know, I never have modded Minecraft. I've never messed with actually, like, changing the code of Minecraft to do different stuff. So I don't know if I could make Minecrafts go faster. Minecarts. I don't know if I could. Man, this is taking so long. Why is this taking so long? It's too deep. Alright, there we go. Shouldn't have made it so big. Oh well. Alright, well, let's see if this actually works still. After I change all that. Made a crater. Ba-boom! Oh yeah, okay. Seems like it worked just fine. Cool. Nice. Great, I guess. we got some real janky stuff going on over here. What is this? What even is this? What's going on here? Oh, we're corrupting the height map data. I'm so glad I did this. I'm so glad I did this in Create. We're doing all this stuff, and then we're just corrupting the height map data. Offset all height maps by height instead of by the new offset thing. Oh no. New y equals new y plus absolute radius. Plus the height, this height. Okay, and then for square, this height equals that thing, and then we want to find this. It's just here, this height. Okay, I'm really glad that we found that. That was a fortuitous alteration there, because we were definitely super corrupting the height map data. Okay, great. Yeah, so this should not have happened. This is a travesty. Yeah, look at all that stuff way up there. No. Please, no. Alright, good. Well, so we fixed that. And now we've just got a real mess over here. Look at this mess. There's some buried craters. There used to be craters over here. Now they're just buried. Gotta find a spot that's not been completely obliterated by cave stuff. Or maybe this is good. Maybe we want it this way. Maybe we want it to be like this. Let's do it here. Alright, so it's kind of a cratery thing. Save and quit. Okay. Cave diver. is gonna... that should be fixed, so we're not corrupting our height map data anymore. Select locations, main, more squares. That's what we're looking for. Def more squares. Okay. Player position. Origin. Radius. If da da da. If it's greater than the thing, if center offset is greater than radius square, square distance 2D, then continue, because we just want to keep going until we're outside. So we're outside the center offset. And then we got the square root distance. Oh, no, because this would be the center offset squared. Center offset squared radius, radius square, center square equals, because we want to square this first so that we don't do it every time. Center square equals center square center offset squared. Okay. Okay. Then we take the square root, because we don't do that, otherwise we're just going to do it needlessly. Square distance is z, z offset is that, x offset squared. Okay, good. Good. So now we should be able to do the thing. So x is this, z is this. We don't want to update the height maps. We don't want to update the height maps here either. Or here, or here. We don't want to set the column, we just want to add a square. We want to add a square to self.interior. Self.interior update, and we'll just do the same thing we did with the add squares thing. Origin square, grow square, add adjacent. Add all squares. We only want to add it, though, if it's not already in the interior. This is so hacky. I hate this. I hate all of this. We should... Okay. Okay. We don't have to hate what we're doing. We can just add all squares to more squares. We'll just do a more squares thing. More squares equals flying them out on the map. And then more squares. Call more squares on more squares. And then we're going to add all squares from more squares. There. There we go. Great. So more squares is just going to... This more underscore squares Now it's just going to add the squares. We don't have to worry about overwriting anything. So self dot, now we just got to add a square to this list. Other square. Add all squares. Add adjacent. Else, the square is not in any square lists. Square. Self dot. Outside update only. This one's going to be self dot inside update. Square equals square self save file x z. Don't need an origin. It's not going to do any good anyway. But we could use the origin. Just going to set the radius larger. Leave it off for the moment. We can always add it later. Self dot inside self dot interior. Why am I calling it interior and outside? It should be edge. It shouldn't be interior. Or it shouldn't be outside. It should be like edge or something. Can you play PC Building Sim 2 in one of your streams? I suggest the game. It's fun. Yeah, maybe. I've got a bunch of games I'd like to get back to and play eventually, but, you know, maybe. I won't say no. I won't say never. Self.interior.update. Lock string. Lock string is equals chords to location of x comma z chord 0 chords 1 lock string is that. Okay. Lock string equals course location square self dot save file xz self dot interior update lock string square. Okay. Alright, makes perfectly circular things. Let's just see what happens if we run this. Are we somewhere where we can run this? Yeah. Okay. Grab this. Delete, paste. Run it. It's taking longer. Saving it seems to have worked. Man. It's so nice just writing code that works. Writing code that just works. Let's see if it actually just works. Oh, look at this. We've got an uneven opening. We've got a bunch of stuff. It's all solid all the way down to the edge. We've got cave all caved in here. The lighting certainly isn't updated, but that's pretty good. And there we go. It made like a mound. Make some sort of crazy mound. That is weird. This is a weird thing. Why'd you guys want me to make this weird thing? It's working, though. Okay. Let's set the value higher. Let's make it around this tree. Let's make it around this tree here. See what happens then. Cave diver. Test B radius. Let's see. Let's do like 79. Center offset. 12 is fine. Height 33. Let's make it like. And 33 is fine. Feature size. Let's make this a little bigger. Feature number. Let's 30. Maybe like 63. Depth scale seems to be working okay. Make it a little deeper, and then we also want to like make stalactites and stalagmites as well. Instead of it just being like pulling it out of the ground, we want it to like mirror it or something. How are we going to do that? We're pulling it up. In doing that, we start at the top, kick them up, and so we get to some height. No, until we get to the very bottom. We just keep kicking them up until we get to the very bottom. So instead, we could, and then we set it to air when we kick it up. So instead of setting it to air when you kick it up, we could set some lower bound for the this height value where it won't kick it up anymore. It'll just leave it instead. So this is like stalactite depth or something. Stalactite depth. So you don't end up with a bunch of holes everywhere. And we want this, anything that's deeper than like five or six. Okay, and then we should just be able to change it one place because we're using the same create everywhere. Okay, right here, set air block data. If the thing, if true, then set air block data. Now, what is this thing that we're going to be setting? This height is the absolute height, this y in range and y star y minus 1. So we're starting at the top, we're going down. Good night, Gen Gamers. Have a good night, man. Start y minus 1. and y. No, that's not how we want to do it. Should be start y minus 1. Let's see, the blanking, it's the blanking distance. We want to go down, we want to blank from the bottom up to the opposite of the depth value, this height. We don't want it based on this height, we want it based on this depth. This depth. This depth. Start y equals y minus this depth. Okay. We want the blanking depth to go down as both the height blanking depth is start y. Blank depth equals start y minus stalactite depth. Blank depth equals negative start y. Minus stalactite depth plus this depth. So this depth is deeper. The blanking depth goes up. And then if this y is greater than the blank depth, this y is greater than the blank depth, then, so it's start y, this y, go down, this y is getting lower and lower. If it's higher than the blank depth, then you blank it as you kick it up. Otherwise, you don't, you just leave it there, but you make a copy higher up. I think that'll work, but I'm curious to see what happens. I'm curious to see what happens here. Okay, did it. well, our tree has been real crunched. And it looks like, I'm not sure what's going on here, because it's also, the lighting values are also weird. But I mean, it looks like it's a cave that's going downward. Okay. So this is leaving some of the village here. Okay, well, I mean, it seems to be working, I think. Maybe? Oh, this is an actual cave. Okay, so this is a stalactite thing, and it's just going down. So I guess it is working. Our poor tree has been eviscerated. The village has been completely jumblified. Hasn't got out as far as our railway. Oh, that's interesting. You can see the edge of it here. It's like done a weird edge thing here. That's strange. What's going on here? Is it like a negative? Is it a negative Y value or something? Negative height? Yeah, what's going on here? What is this? That's janky. It's kind of cool though that you can see like it's made this mountain, and like inside this mountain should be some sort of cave. Sort of cave zone. Ah! Don't know why I'm killing him in creative mode. Yeah. So here's a cave, all right. It's here. Hi there. So many monsters. It's made a giant old cave. Doesn't seem to be making pillars up here. They're just like, it's flat on the ground here. Maybe it is? Maybe the Y value isn't high enough. Because I feel like it should be doing these jaggedies upward as well as downward. Looks like it's just going down here. Huh. I've also lost the center. Is the center over here? here? Huh. Oh, there's a chasm? Is there a chasm here? Yeah. Huh. Alright, well that is, that's curious. That's a curious thing. Oh, and this is the jumblified terrain. That's the jumblified stuff. So I don't think it's working quite right because it's just flat instead of being opposite cave depth thing. It also seems to be like adding a lot of depth to these edge ones. That's probably all that. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably because of the radius, the square radius or something. I don't know. These seem to be awfully deep. I guess that's all I'm saying. Maybe our depth multiple is just too high. But it makes a big old mound, and it's kind of hollow inside a bit. Yeah. I feel like it's not doing it properly. I don't think it's calculating all that properly, but it's calculating something anyway. So yeah, there you go. It's some sort of cavey thing. I think I'm gonna call it good for the day. It's certainly progress. Certainly progress. I really have to refactor. I think that's the next thing, is refactoring all that square code so that it's all in its own library, and then we can optimize it a bit, kind of streamline it, because it's real janky right now. I do not like how janky it is. Yeah, so what's the deal with this? What's the deal with this here? What happened here? Very weird. Was this... Like, did this get raised up? No? It's an underwater cave thing. Yeah, I don't know. Very strange. Well, this is cool looking. I mean, this looks neat. Seems to be working all right. Oh, this is a previous one. Yeah, so we don't get this real jagged like holes in the ground anymore. It's just kind of flat. I think maybe we need to do like the height times 2 or something, or this depth times 2 to offset it the opposite direction. Because right now it's just flat, and I think it needs to be. Let's test that out real quick. Let's test it out real quick. I think we should be able to get it working a little better by doing it this height times -2 or something. This has been corrupted. There's a bunch of ocean over there. That's a big hill that we just made. Maybe... Oh, here's our flying mountains over here. We're doing some experiments over here. Do it here, I guess. It's kind of cool. Do a jungle cave thing. Let's do a jungle cave thing. Alright, test B. Cave diver. We should add cave diver to our list of things to work on too. Let's do that real quick. Edit. Cave diver. Garden script. Let's see. Caves. Cavern mode. cave diver. Progressively spikes, etc. And it's working. What do we want to change about this? Better. Better stalactite code. I'm going to lower it. I'm going to lower the ground and raise the ceiling. I'm going to do both. I feel like that's what we want to do. The ground, raise the ceiling. Clean up the janky code base. Better large-scale structures or something. Pointed dripstone. Sparingly. Same item. Update. Cave diver. All right. All right. Let's see. So radius, blank depth, start Y. Minus stalactite depth. This Y in range and Y. Start Y -1. So it's going from the top. It's going down, kicking stuff up. Set depth scale way lower. 2.0 maybe is fine. Feature size. Down to maybe 9. Okay, so it's gonna make stalactite. It's going down. It's gonna kick all that stuff up by the height. And then everywhere else is just going to use level ground. But then when this depth goes above whatever the base thickness is, what's the base thickness? What's the base thickness? 2? Depth and depth scale times, all this stuff. Random times 3. What if we just don't set stalactite depth? It's to 0. Maybe that'll just work. Blank depth. Start Y plus blank depth. This depth. Start Y. Start Y. That's the bottom. Y minus this depth. Yeah, so that works. Have a good night, Nurplex. Yeah, I'm almost done here. I'm almost done. I'm just foodling around with stuff. I should probably just run this. We're gonna test it on depth, stalactite depth of 0, and then we're gonna call it a day. Save it, paste it, Minecraft, single player test B. Okay, so that's all working. And then we've got this big old cave down here. Not really getting the whole feeling of like vast open spaces here. Was this originally, did I do it on top of a hill? Maybe that's the problem. So the thickness is only like a few blocks thick here. Three blocks thick. Alright, well, we made that a mess. Turn that into a real mess. Maybe we just need to set it higher. Set it higher? I feel like this is not going to work out so well. 18. Currently seems broken. Should probably add some progress stuff on this too. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, it's certainly made it deeper, but now we've got the holes again. It's kind of cool, though. That is a cool look. That is a cool look. The turtles are having a good old time there. Huh. Well, using it underwater was not a complete disaster. Skeleton zombie man. You're having a bad time. Alright, well, clearly I'm not doing this properly. But, it's doing something. Huh. I'll work on it later. Save and quit the title, quit game. Minecraft. Here we go. We're going to take all this stuff. We're going to paste it all over here. We're going to replace them all. We fix some stuff. Maybe. GitHub. Alright, this is the origin. Fix this radius. Alright, take out cave diver because that's all new. Starstone. Yeah, we want to fix that. Okay, so let's see. Starstone. Fix the optimized. A bit. Okay. And then Wizard Mountain. Self.radius update. Maybe. Wizard Mountain not get the origin? Pre-compute the radius. Pre-compute the radius. Oh, just diffed differently. It's weird. And then radius origin. Okay, origin, so these two guys, this is the radius pre-computation. It was broken. I think it's working better now. Commit. And then cave diver. Create cave diver. Kinda works. But still needs some improvements. Okay. Push it. And then we go over to our Discord. Let's see. Garden script, groundwork. Made a cave diver thing. Claim shaky code base. Yeah. Cave diver. Alright, so working on cave diver. And we'll go over to our Discord and tell the guy who's like, hey, you should make a cave thing. Got started on it. Still needs some work, but it's getting there. Yeah, there's no way that what I wrote would work, because if it's close to the surface, then you're not going to end up with a stalactite going up, because it'll just go to the surface and then there won't be anything there to to go up. So it needs to generate some blocks or something. Needs to do a dripstone thing. Oh, excuse me. And then I'll send a link to code cave diver. There. Boom. All right, so later tonight, which is going to be for you guys very early in the morning, I'm going to do a live stream with a friend. It's going to be on his channel, I think. Let's see. Let's see. There we go. Share. Can put this in the chat. There we go. If you're interested, there's a live stream. It's going to be later. So if you want to see more of me, there in the chat is a link to the other live stream. I should probably put it in the description. I'll put it in the description later.